heard that when you had an interview with Buff, he wanted to improv, and you kind of like diced him up a little bit.
You guys know this stuff.
Hey, I did a lot of research on you, babe.
Well, I'll tell you exactly what happened. Yeah, well, I said Eric Bischoff came to me and asked me if I'd do an interview with Buff. I said, sure, not a problem. So I was in my dressing room, and this was about 2 o'clock. I was in my dressing room, and about 5 o'clock came around, and Buff hadn't come around, say hi, and, you know, it's okay, I'll come over and see if I can find Buff. So I found Buff, and he was...
That'd be so funny to see Roddy looking for Buff in the back.
Yeah. Is there a guy named Buff around here?
You're like looking under tables and stuff.
Hey, Buff. Hey, Mom, do you know where Buff is?
Isn't it bad that you have to call him Buff?
Yeah. In any case, I come to him, and he's tying his shoes, and he won't look at me in the eye. He says, you know, Buff, I understand we have an interview. Is there any... I was very sincere. Is there any way I can help you, or anywhere you want to go, or what would you like to do? And he just keeps looking down. He says to me, I think we'll just improv. Okay. Okay, let's just think about this for a second, folks. How many interviews has Roddy Piper done? Oh, I don't know, 50,000, 60,000. I have no idea. No idea. I'm looking at this guy, and I know exactly where he's coming from. Old man, old man, old man. Okay, so, well, all right, Buff. We'll just improv. So we get in the ring.
Thank you for the plug.
I look at Buff. Buff comes in. I said, so, Buff, how many times have you wrestled in Madison Square Garden? And he whips his head over and looks at me with all the vim and vigor that he can. He says, I wasn't even born yet. Excuse me? I said, so I stepped back about 2 or 3 paces, and all the people in the arena, they just came unglued. And I said, well, I can understand you not understanding that, because Madison Square Garden is a place where main eventers, that's where they wrestle, you see, and that's in New York, New York. Now, don't let that confuse you, because New York's the name of the town, and the New York, that's the state, you see, and I just kept going.
Right.
Well, when we got back to the dressing room, Eric Bischoff was all bent out of shape, said, you buried him. I didn't bury nobody, man, you know, right. He buried himself. So that was just part of the atmosphere at that time. But why you'd want to piss off, I don't know how to.
There's so much to be learned from you.
Well, you know, I would have more than happily cooperated with whatever he wanted to do.
Okay.
I'm not that kind of guy.
Right.
You know, but you know, just to not bore you to death here.
You can never bore us.
Bottom line is, hey, you know, you want to play, we'll play. You know, if you want to shoot, we'll shoot.
Well, what we want to do is go to the phones, because people want to talk to you. We got Joe from New Jersey. You're up next on Get in the Ring.
Roddy,
hey, Joe.
An honor and a pleasure. Started watching you with Chavo Guerrero in the mid-'70s in L.A. and followed you all the way through. It really is an honor.
Well, thank you very much.
They talk about the best angles being some truth to it. And I thought one of the best angles, you tell me if it was truth or not, was with Bob Armstrong when you were talking to his son Brad at 18 or 19, wearing the same tights, and just like Daddy, he should be on his own, and that started a feud with you and him in Georgia. How was that really some truth to it, or was it all?
Oh yeah. There was in Georgia at that time. You know, just about that time, wrestling was really starting to swirl and come around in America again. And Mr. Armstrong. His dad, he's a fine man. He was a fireman, a stand-up kind of guy, and he said to me, we had an interview, and he said to me, you know, he had skinny legs, and he didn't mind this. I was very surprised, because I'll give you an example. One time, Paul Jones, he was a wrestler out of the Midwest.
Oh, yeah.
He says, guy's so old, every time he passes a cemetery, 2 guys chase him with shovels. He pulls me aside and he says, you know, Rod, I don't think that will draw any money to that. He gave me the 30-minute lecture, and I felt like a worm. Okay. So, you know, I knew to back off from that, and here comes Bob Armstrong, and he's got these skinny legs, and he says, go ahead and say, you know, skinny legs. I got skinny legs. And he says, oh, you know, something about, you ever seen big legs in a racehorse? Yeah, okay. So we're live, and it's Georgia TV, and so I hit him with, well, you got skinny legs. And they're going 15 seconds. I can see them 15 seconds. And he said, yeah, well, you never seen big legs on a racehorse. And so he starts to walk away, and I wait. Dying, get away. And I got 5 seconds left. And finally I say, well, if I'm ever at a horse race, I'll bet on you. He wasn't expecting that one, and I don't think he liked that one too much. And that started there we go again, Piper. That started the animosity. And then with Brad, I just started hitting on it. It was much like with Schnuckel, where I would say, I tried to keep a line of, some line of truth to what I was saying. Or
right.
That's what made it great.
Yeah, some degree of some sense or something. And with Schnuckel, I'm not saying this is true, but it could be.
I love when you call him Schnuckel.
The Schnuck. From the Mara to the Mara Bra. Huh?
We know that some good guys are worse bad guys out of the ring than in the ring. So.
Yeah.
Roddy,
You got it.
I love talking about.
By the way you talk about Armstrong, do you equate yourself at that age being like these Buff Bagwells and whatnot? Were you being not so much blackballed, but did they resent you, these older guys, the Wahoo McDaniels, the Bob Armstrong?
Good question, man. Good question.
Oh, yeah. Because especially when you go back to Chavo Guerrero in the Olympic Auditorium, I guess I would be about 19, 20, 21, something like that. And I was holding the main event spot, and I had a lot of old timers, a lot of guys that were seasoned veterans at that time that very much resented that. I had fought for my life every night. Gordon Goliath and I can't remember them all. Crusher Verdue, whoever. I fought every one of the Guerreros except for Mama Guerrero. There's one time, man. I'm in the Olympic Auditorium. It was like a nightmare. It was a six-way tag, 3 Guerreros, and Mike LaBelle, the promoter, flew in Mama and Papa Guerrero, and Mama, as a legitimate surprise, and Mama had these ponchos they put on the Guerreros, and the Guerreros are crying. And I'm looking at this, I'm not saying, it's going to be a long night. Ding, ding, I got my frequent flyer miles.
Thanks for the call, man. Now, Rowdy?
Yo,
we got to talk about the XWF. We could talk to you for 5 hours about your past, and you can come on whenever you want, but the XWF is a new federation coming up. You're the commish, Pipe.
Yes, I am, and I'm proud to be.
And it's a new kind of foundation of the old with the young, and you want them to coexist at the same time, am I right?
Well, more than that. With the XWF, first of all, as for the people, by the people, it's by the wrestlers, for the wrestlers. Mm-hmm. There's some good men in it that on the business side, a fellow named John Flood, and Lud Denny, and Walter Frank. And they're on the money side, and they're giving it a real fair crack. And they're good businessmen, they're experienced businessmen, they know what they're doing. As far as the wrestling end, it's being taken care of by wrestlers. And for me, as a commissioner, I'm not interested in getting in there and tussling too much anymore. But I'm very interested in this. I was taught you pass the torch down. You pass the torch down. And there's a tremendous amount of young talent out there that deserves the torch to be passed down. And right now, we have a monopoly going on. And I'm not trying to knock anybody. We're not competing against anybody. I'm just giving you a brand new product that you're going to be able to see that's going to show you stuff that it's, what does McMahon call it, sports entertainment. Right. Well, that's fine, but we're going to entertain you through sports, We're not going to have some 70-year-old lady pull her shirt up because I don't want to see that. On any particular day.
Mae Young, I don't want to remember that.
But I don't know why I kept watching that.
Well, because you don't have anything else to watch. Yeah. And that's what we're giving you. Some of this young talent is amazing, but take a little bit of the show business out of it. One of the things that makes magic in professional wrestling is I understand now they write everything. Well, I've never had anything written for me.
Neither have we.
That's why you're so successful.
We're very successful. You should see where we're sitting right now.
But that's the beauty of professional wrestling is put two professional wrestlers in there.
Let them see what happens.
And and come to whatever conclusion you want, but let them get to that conclusion by themselves.
Well, let me just, we're running out of time very quickly, Roddy. XWFWrestling.com is where to go.
Yes.
XWF, we're hoping that you guys are successful. We're going to pull for you guys because we wanted to have a different product. We wanted to give you a little story. We started this show about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And at that time, Art Barr was alive, and you were very good friends with him.
Yes, I was.
And we were very hot to get Hot Rod on the show, basically. So we talked to Rowdy, we talked to Art Barr, and his sense of humor was so strange we didn't know what to do. He said, "Call me on Saturday. I'm going to get Rowdy on the phone on conference, and we're going to talk to him, and you'll get him on the show." So I said, "Fine. I'm going to call Art." Art gets on, and he's like, "All right, let me call Rowdy, and hold on." So Art gets back, does an impression of you. He says, "Hey guys, what's up?" And me and my co-host Sir Adam was on, and he started talking exactly like you, but we knew it wasn't you, but he wouldn't let on that we knew. It's like, "Art, we know it's you." He's like, "Oh, you want to talk to Art?" And Art would get back on and talk like a regular. And then he went back and forth, and we're like, "Oh man, this is ridiculous." So Roddy, it's an honor and a pleasure to finally get you on. But Art Barr, God rest his soul, man.
Yeah, that's another reason almost all my frat brothers are dead. And we're going to take care of that problem, too. On a happier note, thank you very much for having me. I wish you all the best.
Thank you, man.
XWF, look out, we're coming, boys.
Thank you, my friend.
No retreat, no surrender.
Yeah,
in the ring.
Pipes.
All right, the Phantom and Sir Adam.
Yeah.
Talk to you later.
Thank you, brother.
Bye-bye.